Good afternoon, good evening to you from wherever you are watching us from. This is another insightful session of the SEDAT HR Digest. From wherever you are watching us from, you are welcome once again. You can put in the comment section where you are watching us from, and I would read that out to our viewers. Right, we'll be diving right into the conversation shortly. Once again, this session is brought to you by SEDAT Consult, your trusted HR partner. Right, in the comment section, just let us know where you are watching us from. All right, so today we are going to be having a reflection on our just ended SEDAT HR conference at Kumasi at the Golden Bean Hotel. And I'm having a few participants who will be joining me shortly to have that discussion. Once again, you are welcome to SEDAT HR Digest. It's going to be a very interactive session with my participants from the just ended session. All right, so I'll just have them join us and then we dive right into the conversation. So I'd have Madame Laurentia, I'll have Mr. Ibrahim. It's really going to be interactive today. If you miss the session, then this is an opportunity for you to grasp a few of the insights that we had the opportunity to enjoy at the session. All right. I'm glad to have both of you here.
Likewise, glad to be
Yes.
here to share my experience.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's just have a brief introduction from both of you and then we dive right into the conversation. All right, so Mr. Ibrahim, you can just briefly introduce yourself, and then we have from Madame Larisha as well, and then we dive right into the conversation.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Aliu Alasan Ibrahim, HR advisor for G4 Security Service Ghana, that is specifically the Kumasi branch.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. Madame Larisha.
Thank you. Happy Sunday to the SEDAT family. Like you rightly said, I'm Lauren Shaya Jifasari. I work with OP Properties Limited. We are into building and construction. I'm an associate member of the Chartered Human Resource Management Practitioners, and I am the office manager at where I work, and then the HR as well. I'm glad to be here this afternoon to share my experience from the conference. Thank you.
And we are so glad to have you with us for this conversation. Was this year's edition the first you joined, or you've joined our previous editions?
I don't know about Ibrahim, but for me, it was my first session I joined, and it was great for
Okay,
me. Yeah.
that's nice. Mr. Ibrahim, is this your first?
It was my second time. I think the 2023 edition at Micklin Hotel, I was one of the participant, please.
So, would you say this year's edition was quite different from the previous edition that you participated in?
Oh, yes. So, it was my first experience. I mean, the Micklin one, that was great. But I think it's getting better because looking at the resource person who spoke from diverse background, and then also, I think it's better. It's going better. Looking at the information we're given, and then also the kind of training we receive, and they also shared their personal experiences that I think to me is is a step in the right direction. Thank you.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad to hear that feedback. Um, so, Madam Mauricia, so this being your first edition, what would you say about your expectations? Were your expectations met? Do you think your expectations were met?
Absolutely. If I heard you right, whether my expectations were met, it was met and
Perfect.
beyond. My expectations
Amazing.
were met and beyond because there's a lot of evolution happening in the HR space. And
Yeah.
sometimes when you're in your little corner, you might not know what's going on out there. You might not know what's going on in Ibrahim's place that you don't even know. So when you're
Right.
out with level-headed practitioners, there's a lot you get to be exposed to. And I'm glad I joined because the concept of HR is fast evolving. A lot of us are at the back doing the things, the old things we used to do over and over with all the paperwork, with all of the HR madam posts we enjoy without value. But coming to this conference, you realize that there's a lot going on beyond our normal paper administrative work, beyond our HR madam boss posts where everybody is afraid of you. Like it's about using the best systems, the best technologies, engaging your workforce to an extent that at the end of the day, business goals and strategies are met. And I was glad to be there. Ibrahim, I think she's having some challenges and she's put in
Yes,
the
yes, I'm
comment
sure.
section
I'm sure.
if you
Yes.
could share your experience too. I saw just that in the comments.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, so thank you very much. So, like I earlier indicated, this second edition to me, I think is the best for me. I think the resource person who they drew a lot of inspiration based on hands-on experience from their various organizations, and then I think to them they have, I mean, they have been in the business for a very long time, and they have a lot to share. And then I think those of us who were fortunate to be there, I think they shared a good experience of which we are is also going to be applicable to our various place of work as far as HR business is concerned.
Yeah.
To me, it's good for me, especially looking at my background, where not all of us were fortunate to do something in HR at the university, but from where we are from, and then the kind of grooming we are getting, I think we are also managing to be on the path of HR, where we know that it's going to help us a lot, especially in our career and every business that we are going to work for. Thank you.
Right. And as we participated, there were a lot of takeaways that I'm sure you and I took along.
Oh,
I put
yes,
mine
yes,
safely in my handbag and left with it. Yeah,
yeah.
so a lot of great takeaways from the conference.
Mm,
And
okay.
I'm sure you have a lot to share with us. So I
Oh,
listen to
yes,
you
yes.
with the audience, and then I also get the opportunity to share the few I took away. So if you could share that with us too.
Okay, okay. HR previously we knew we have to do this paperwork, like we're saying, purely administrative tasks, where we were even sidelined in, during management meetings. So they only push to us the policies and the process where they want the business to go. But I
Yeah.
think of late, as the world is evolving, HR is also evolving, where we
Yeah.
are trying to align ourselves with the business goals or business objectives, so that at the end of the day, we all reach the destination that the business want to reach. More specifically, I remember Mr. Nuhu from Samvik, who is the president for Samvik Mining Africa. I drew a lot
Yeah.
of inspiration from him and then Mr. Meshach as well. He also was looking at
Yeah.
HR metrics where we are going to use evidence-based analysis,
Yeah.
to make strategic decisions. So, and also, say Mr. Nuhu also made us to understand that um, the business, our decision as HR should also be that of the business. And
Yeah.
for that matter, we should make sure that we are able to manage talent very, very well in the organization. And then
Yeah.
also develop or build capability of the people in the business. So I think
Yes.
this is a shift mindset where we are now moving away from normal administrative tasks, to be
Yeah.
more strategic, looking at talent
Yeah.
management and
Yeah.
capability building. When that happens, I think the business will thrive well. So especially, and also uh, HR we contribute mostly. We look at mostly contributing to the business KPIs. That is, increasing or making good productivity, and then also
Yeah.
looking at profit base. Every business want to make profit. You understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then also apart from making profit, is becoming very competitive in the modern businesses. The world is evolving now all across the globe, so it's becoming very competitive. So the business also have to be innovative. And for that matter,
Yeah.
I take very good inspiration from Mr. Moon's presentation, where he's saying that we should align ourselves with the business objective or KPI as far as productivity, profitability, and then also innovation based on or leveraging artificial intelligence. That is AI. I think to
Yeah.
me, it's my take. And then
Yeah.
also I'm looking also at Mr. Mesha's HR metrics. That's
Matrices. Yeah.
yes, yes. Myself, I've taken a lot of things from that. We'll develop in that because mostly HR, we don't keep data. Neither do we even look at analyzing data. But yes,
Yeah.
based on the conference, I'm going to sit back at it. I'm going to go back to the drawing table. Yes, and then also try
Sure.
to look at my HR metrics so that at least it will help the business to take informed decision as far as these analysis are concerned. Thank you, madam.
Yeah, and you rightly said that. And to buttress more on what you said, sometimes when we talk about data, we think we have to conjure some complicated or implement some complicated systems that is so robust. But from the conference, we all got to understand that even basic Excel can help
Yeah,
us to put a
yeah,
lot of quality data together and use Excel to make some serious analysis that will influence our decision making. So matrices are so important to drive us in whatever that we are doing. So in that case, we are not reactional, or we don't just get up and do things. Everything that we do is backed by data. And it is not just raw data, quality data that has been thought of, that there's been trend, we've analyzed the trend, and our decisions are being influenced by the data.
technically, yes.
At the end of the day, the top for me was also about the fact that as HRs, we have no place in the business if we don't understand the business goals and strategy, like as you mentioned. Gone are the days that HR should be viewed as cost centers, which I think Meshach and Senyo threw more light on. We should be able to speak business languages. Everything that we do, we should look at the ROIs. So, what is the direct benefits of our decisions to the company? It could be in terms of monetary value, or even putting our workforce in a better position that in return the company is able to benefit from. So for me, just as Ibrahim have said, if we don't understand the business goals and strategies, we have no place in the business. That is why HRs were always exempted. We were always kicked out. We were always behind the doors. And then when the big guys, the financial controllers and the marketing managers are done discussing on the table, they come and give instructions to us. But I think gone are those days. HR needs to be more strategic now. We need to bring figures to the table. We need to bring proper quality data on the table to guide our decisions and actions. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm sure
So
you are
thank you.
back.
Yes, our moderator is back now.
Yeah.
Apologize so much for that. Amazing. I'm sure anyone who was just listening or who's listening now couldn't attend is going like, I wish I was there. Yes, you should have been there, but because we have in mind, we are going to our next conference and we would expect for you to join us. All right. So I just want you to share with us what your thoughts and take on sustainable growth, in the context of HR, and what practices can help HR leaders build workplaces that are both productive and resilient over time.
Can you?
Can you hear me now?
Okay,
Oh, madam,
yes.
come again, please. Come again,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. So I was asking what your
Okay.
thoughts on sustainable growth. What does it mean in the context of HR? And what practices can help HR leaders build workplaces that are both productive and resilient over time?
Okay. So, thank you very much, please. So, HR as a business should be sustaining. So, to me, we look at to me sustainability as far as HR is concerned, looking at our growth and then also our development. So,
Yes.
we continuously develop people and ensuring that their well-being and then productivity are being catered for. Other than that, like my colleague said, there's no place for HR. So we looking at a successive plan. I think one of them said, if you are a manager or if you're HR manager or if you are a boss, you are leaving the business maybe for leave and there's nobody to step in your shoes, you are in trouble. So yes, so this is for us to also look at succession plan. For example, if I'm not there in the business or as an HR, who stands in my shoes? So there are certain times where maybe people are not available at business. We will be calling them, we are not getting them, and then the business becomes standstill as far as the HR business is concerned. So for me, we need to look at a succession plan for HR being sustainable, and then also we look at employee well-being, which is also very very important because and we organize programs so that no, this one can be met. So sometimes, maybe annually or quarterly, the business can organize screening programs. I remember last year or so, our business we organized screening, and then that was a breast cancer screening. We saved about two of our employees who were, I think, the first stage of the breast cancer process also, and then at least the doctors have managed to salvage the issue. So employers' well-being is also very very important. Other than that, like we were told even at the conference session, sometimes some of these things when they are not taken care of, you see that employees will becoming they are not coming to work. You might not even know exactly what is happening, and then so and finally, at the end of the day, these employees, even who hold critical positions or roles in the business, are going to quit the business because the business is not taking good care of them. So continuous learning is also very very important. Where we know that as an HR practitioner or somebody who is aspiring to become HR, you need to learn. Looking at modern trends because the world, as you see, keeps on changing. Now, with the introduction of AI, where everything has become more automated, we need to learn. So, LinkedIn and other platforms, of some of them, I didn't have the opportunity to hear about them before. So as HR, we need to be sustaining. We look at ethical leadership, and then also we create a supportive work environment where we are able to retain the good talent in the business because like I said, some critical roles are in the business. When you lose those people, you find it very difficult even to replace them. And even if you are going to replace them, it is not as easy as that. Even not looking at even the cost involved in trying to get those people. So I think HR can be more sustainable through this process that were being outlined during the conference. Thank you very much, please.
Right. Madam Laurentia, would you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think Ibrahim just said it all. When it comes to business growth or sustainable growth, it's just when we talk about it at the business level, we understood from the conference that it's just about the maximum rate a company can grow without falling into debt or bankruptcy or selling out assets or equity or anything. Business level. When we drop it down to the HR level, it's just about how HR can manage its workforce to ensure that we achieve the business goals and talents. Ibrahim specifically mentioned quite a number of activities that can come to play. So it means that whatever we do as HRs, be it recruitment, handling benefits, leave, everything that we do, we have to be well informed. We need to be well informed. We need to have data backing some of the decisions that we take. So before an employee goes on retirement, their benefits have been well thought of. Whatever the compensation is going to be, it's well thought of. Um, I remember one of the speakers was telling us about how in a few years, about whether 11 or 10 of their workers were going to go on a retirement, and looking at the level of resources they had at the moment, they realized that if they followed through that tangent, there was no way they could compensate these workers during their retirement. And they got to know about this because of the data that they had, because of the information they had. So they had to quickly put heads together and put in systems and some decisions to make sure that by the time these workers are going on retirements, they have then enough funds, enough to be able to pay them off or to be able to send them away in the right way. So it's just about how we can support the business by training or putting the workforce at a level where they also understand the business growth, the business strategy, the direction the business is moving at. Then they can also work in that direction. Like Ibrahim spoke about succession planning. Very, very, very critical. I remember Mr. Nuhu was telling us that he, as a vice president of Sandvik, he could go on holidays for 30 days or 15 days without not thinking about anything behind, because there are good people who have been put in place. There are people who can hold the fort for him, even if he's away for months. So we are done with the days where an individual wants the whole business to be revolving around him or her, so that when she's not there or he's not there, the business should come to stand still. That is long gone. There are some people who feel better when they realize that even when they are on leave, they are being called multiple times. That shows that they are very important, and they are really working hard and they are key to the organization. You are burning yourself out. It's only a matter of time and then you are gone. It's only a matter of time and will be knocking on your doors. Let's employ AI, like Ibrahim said, technology, systems, strengthen our workforce to be able to take up positions, to be able to take up the task, even when we are not there. That is when we bring value to the table. That is when we know that things are working without us. So sustainable growth is very, very important to us now as HRs, especially when business owners and leaders are expecting return on investment on everything. So it's not just about recruitment, it's just not about the everyday administrative work, but everything we do should add up to the business growth, should add up to its monetary terms or whichever way, and strengthening the workforce to come back to the business in a way that benefits the business. Yeah.
Right. Amazing. And most of the sessions emphasize on linking HR strategy to overall business success. I'm looking at someone who's watching us now, who is thinking, what can I start doing now? What practical things can I do to align my initiatives with business goals in their organization? What can they start doing immediately? Yes, either of you can go for this, either Mr. Alu or Madam Lanisha. Or Mr. Alu can take this and then you also come in with anything you want to add up. How can professionals in Ghana practically align their initiatives with business goals in their organizations? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Ali. Can you hear
Okay, okay,
me?
okay. Okay, so
Madam
like I was
Laurentia, can you
saying,
hear me?
H- yes, so
You
HR
can.
doesn't work
It
in
seems Mr.
isolation.
Ali, even though
Yeah,
his
he
connection
can he
is
can hear
stable.
you.
Yeah, I
I
can
think
hear.
he started.
Am I being heard, please?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Yes, please.
Okay, okay, okay. So, like I said, the HR, we don't work in isolation. Definitely, we work with other departments as far as other management is concerned. So, we all work towards a goal, and that goal is for us to all prioritize business objectives. So,
Right,
in trying to align ourselves as an HR to these business objectives or business priorities, we need to understand the business organizational priorities very well, so that we before we can be able to align ourselves. Other than that, if we don't understand where the business want to go, maybe the development plan, what they want to do, maybe the business want to increase sales in a year's time, want to establish another branch, and maybe sometimes the business want to do some expansion. So the HR is supposed to be able to understand these business priorities or business objectives, so that we can definitely align ourselves to these business objectives. Like I was saying, for example, in case the business want to undertake some expansion, then we can be looking at leadership development, which is very, very important. Like we earlier pointed out, if you're a leader and then you are, going, you are in your absence, nobody can, you know, fit or fix into your shoe, then definitely there's something wrong. And then also we look at workforce plan, which is also part of business expansion process. And then we look at talent acquisition. Talent acquisition is also very, very key. So yes, most of the resource person align to these issues, and I think it was a very good something. So we build HR performance dashboard where at least we can be visiting this dashboard. We can measure what we are supposed to measure at any point in time. If you know where the business is going, you'll be able to know as an HR. So the dashboard is very, very important. And then also whatever skill gap that is left in the business, as HR, we need to know, so that at least we can discuss with management for us to see the way forward to fill this gap by doing gap analysis, which is very, very critical as well. So, in all, when we put everything together, then we should be able to involve the business leaders, because HR without the business leaders or the business management or whatever, there's no way that we are going to thrive. So when we are able to discover these things, looking at our dashboard, leadership development and workforce planning, we should sit down with management and discuss with them about HR plans concerning this talent management, etc., etc. With this, I think HR can be able to align itself with the business priorities as far as every business is concerned. Thank you.
thank you. Rightly said, Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali, as an HR professional, you need to understand your organizational priorities. Until you understand that, there's no way that you can align the strategy to enable productivity in your organization. Right, Madam Laurentia, would you want to add up anything to that?
Just a little more thing. Sometimes our subordinates work in a vacuum or they work vaguely. So, like he said, it's very important that we bring it down to their level. Most of the
Right,
times, subordinates or the workforce do things because they are told they should do, or that is their role, or it is my duty or responsibility, and they just do it because they had to do it. But when we bring it to their level, where they also understand that whatever you are doing is leading to so so and so, then they get to understand the results of their actions and inactions. In that sense, you are building this sense of ownership in them also, where everything they do, they know that it must lead or gear towards the business goal. Okay,
right,
so everything that we do, we don't just do it because we want to do it. In that case, you realize that even as HRs, our work gets a bit simpler because you don't have to be on people all the time to get them do the right thing. But in their own little kindness and in their own little roles that they play, because they are so much in depth with the knowledge about what the business is up to, they do it having that in mind. So one critical thing Senyo also mentioned to me that I felt like it's a key thing is that, we spend so much in development, learning and development, training our people. We train them, and then in few months or years they are gone. Somebody will say that's why I don't train people. So you don't train them, and then you have garbage working with you. Is that what you want? Obviously, no. But as you train people, develop systems that helps you to harvest the knowledge they have. And how do we harvest that knowledge? Senyo took us through that practically. Develop SOPs that will make sure that whatever that they have learned or they have in them, it is well documented and it is well laid down so that at any day, any time, somebody can also hold on to it to move on with the same thing that you were doing. Let's develop policies. Develop policies that will make sure that people follow certain procedures and systems that at the end of the day, whether they are not there, they are there or not, the policies are there, the procedures are there. We just follow. You get it? And I think this example came up where we're talking about how KFC is KFC because you don't go to KFC Ahonjo and eat a different chicken and go to KFC Accra and eat a different chicken. Then no, it's the same
Right.
taste. Yes, it's the same thing because it is policies they are following, it is procedures they are following. If it is 2 tons of flour or 2 kg of whatever, it is the same at every shop. So one chef can decide to leave a Hunjo branch. Tomorrow you still eat the same chicken there, even though the chef is gone. And we can bring that strategy into our business places. We make sure that the critical roles that we have, people who are playing critical roles, there is a system that harvests their knowledge so that perchance tomorrow we don't know what can happen. If something happens, there is still a way that the business is able to move on because we have built systems that is able to harvest from people who have the
Right.
experiences. Yeah, so very important thing that I took from that session as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Build systems.
Yeah,
Right.
before you can, I just wanted to, I've just remembered something that one of the resource persons said that was very interesting. So I think he was looking at the succession plan. He said some of the employees, because of their critical roles, and if you know, if you want to stand in their shoes or somebody to stand in their shoes when they are not available, is you study their report, what they do, keep those people. You have to avoid them. Exactly. So you can be looking at their report, they will be writing, a lot of things. So, in fact, it was a big secret that was being reviewed. I think it's very helpful because, like I said, some people they occupy critical roles and even very difficult to get their replacement and the rest. So, but when you study certain trend, you study them very well, looking at their report, what they do, let them, like you said, let those people document whatever activity that they do within the business. And those who are not available, definitely you will see your way out, or
Yeah.
you are going to see how somebody is going to fit into that specific role. Other than that, when those people are even gone, you are in trouble. Thank you.
Yeah. And Ibrahim, a quick one. You remember when he said, because of the points you just mentioned, you remember he also said that those who we have this idea that everybody should be treated equally in the workplace. We are all workers, so treat everybody the
Yes, yes.
same. You remember what he said? He said
Oh,
yes,
yes.
but you can't do away with the fact that
Yes.
there are some roles that are so much critical
So
that,
much.
as you imagine, in his field, he says somebody who operates a mining machine, a machine that is rare to find people to operate. Such a person, are you going to treat the same person like you treat your front desk person? That hits me so much because sometimes as
Oh,
HR,
yeah,
we want
yeah.
to fight for so many unnecessary things. Things fighting for a machine operator, same thing for a front desk person. The risks at which they are exposed to in the course of their work is so different from what that
Oh,
admin. It
yeah.
doesn't mean that that admin person is not, important,
Yeah.
but they are all at various levels, and we should treat critical role holders critically. and treat admin or whatever other roles, treat them the way they should be treated.
The way they
Yeah,
should be
and
treated.
for me, it was a big thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, if you are watching us, this is the SEDAT HR Digest, and we are having a reflection on our just ended SEDAT HR conference at the Kumasi. That was at Golden Beam Hotel just this Thursday on HRs for sustainability, aligning strategy with business success. Right, we are still going right into the conversation. So I would want to hear from both of you. Since attending the conference, I'm sure that you began having certain thoughts on how you wanted to run things in your organization, those new ideas, the frameworks or approaches that were inspired by what you learned. And if you could share a few of that to us so that the viewers would also pick a few things from your inspirations and the insights that you had. I hope you could hear me. Mr. Ali, could you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you were ahead, please. So there were a lot of inspiration that uh, we noted during the conference. Like I said,
Yes.
these ones were real world experiences shared. And uh, one of them, since we started, we've looked at a lot of things that will keep the business moving. Looking at uh, with HR developing ourselves because like I said earlier, the world is evolving and everything is also evolving. So the only thing that does not change is change. So we need to look at ourselves, develop ourselves, be able to look at look at the future of HR, where HR is going, and then we align ourselves accordingly. Because, like I said, now AI is something that is almost, though it's taking not taking over, but if we don't take care, you might look at it as AI taking over business of HR. But when we complement the two, the HR and then AI, we can leverage these AIs, and then it is going to help us to take very strategic decisions and implement them, which is going to help the business a lot. So to me, uh, let us develop ourselves, let us learn. Like some of them even said, they didn't have any HR background, but due to where they found themselves, they had the opportunity to meet people, and then they were being groomed or they were being mentored. And now, looking at where they are now as far as HR is concerned, it's a lot. So me, my take home is that I should be able to develop myself very well in terms of the HR business, so that at least I will be able to know the modern trend, and then also this will make me more sustaining in the HR business. And yes, that is very critical to me because we need to learn. Because if we don't learn, some said they left school almost 10, 20 years ago. And just imagine, things are just changing. Now we are moving from administrative tasks to, a lot of things where we are managing talent, we are doing this, we have to look at HR metrics and a lot. So if you don't learn, definitely you'll be left behind. So this one of the take home is that the where that is evolving, of which we need to also be able to meet up those evolving world. It shouldn't take us by surprise, because I know when people started, Microsoft came through the computers. The old men who were previously managing the typewriting machines and the rest. And most of them were thrown out of business because it made them unaware. So for me, most of my take home is that I should be able to prepare for the future, where HR is going. Then I also make sure that I put myself in that position to be able to meet the future well, so that it wouldn't take me by surprise. So that is my take home.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alicia, for you, during the conference, were there the new ideas that were coming in mind that you thought you been implementing once you get to your organization?
Yes, I think I mentioned it earlier about the fact that I have started making sure that my subordinates understand the importance of communication and
Okay, I think we've lost Madame Laurentia. But can you hear me, Mr. Aliu?
Yes, so I can hear you. So
Okay.
like I said, we learn a lot of things, and then for me in my business, as I go back to the drawing board, there are a lot of things that we needed to catch up. But unfortunately, maybe because we didn't know, or maybe sometimes we frown over them. But we have been revived, like churches, do revival, and everybody knows that. So I'm being revived. So for me, onboarding, structured onboarding is something that I'm not going to joke with that. And then also mentorship, like I earlier said, mentorship programs. I think one of them, I think Mr. Nuhu also, he was saying that in his business, they have given opportunity, they have given learning platforms where employees can go there and learn. And he was
Right.
even saying that sometimes they even award those people who do a lot of courses. And although the business is spending on that, but the returns on that investment is going to be a lot, because he even said it makes some of them even more sustaining the business to reduce attrition rate. So for me, the mentorship program is something that I'm going to look at very well. And then also maybe quarterly or yearly learning clinics where at least my those I mean those our subordinate or those in the same line of organogram, we can come together and learn so that at least we'll be able to settle faster. Yes, and also those who are coming in, we should also onboard them very well, maybe a month, a week, looking at critical areas so that their performance can be improved. Because sometimes we know that these new staff, they come in the business, and as a result of lack of or failure to onboard them very well, they will come and then akɔkɔ say adwuma no ɔhu so then finally what they will do is that they will leave the business or they will be in the business, but whatever is in them, the skills that they have, we can't unearth them because they were not being on board well. So onboarding, yes, I'm not going to joke with that. And then also involve every department that has in HR in planning and also for staffing. So for me, that is something that I need to or I've taken cognizance of. And then also there's also one critical thing that Madam Emilia also pointed out, also employee engagement, which is also very very critical. So time to time we should engage our employees to know whatever some of them may they have work-related issues. Some of them are even something that is from their houses. And he said he sometimes organizes symposiums or seminars where he personally chats with some of them, at least to know about them, to know how they are faring. So when this happens, at least you are able to sustain these people in the business. So continuous engagement is also very, very important. And I think I'm going to, though we are doing it, but we are going to lay more emphasis on that as well. So that is my take home during the conference. Thank you.
I'm glad you just highlighted on engagement in terms of the part of your employees. Now, I just want to speak about your networking as an HR professional when you came for the conference. How would you say that connecting with other HR professionals and business leaders at the Kumasi conference influence your perspective on collaboration for sustainable growth?
Madam,
So
you are welcome.
sorry, I went off briefly.
Oh,
Yes, you're welcome,
yes.
Alicia.
Technology for you. So before I come to your network, just to throw a bit more light
Yes,
on what
Peter, did
Ibrahim
you hear
said
me?
earlier. Yes, can you hear me also?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
we
can
can hear
hear
you.
you. Yes, can you hear me too?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I was
Okay.
saying that one
So I was saying
admirable.
that I was glad you highlighted on engagement on the part of you, the professional, and your employees. But now I want you to highlight a bit on the networking opportunity that you had as an HR professional at the SEDAT HR conference. How would you say that your networking with other HR professionals leads to your influence your perspective on collaboration for sustainable growth?
Thank you. So before I come to networking, I just wanted to share
If Madam
something,
Laurentia
Mr.
can hear me, can
Yes,
also
I
take
can hear
this.
you. Can you also hear me?
Yes, you can be heard from my side here.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm saying that one admirable thing Mr. Nuhu also shared with us. He came
Madam
with a
Laurentia,
number
are
of.
you with us? I
Yes,
think
can
the
you
video
hear
is
me?
lagging.
Ibrahim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
You are
So I
loud
think
and clear.
Okay.
yes.
So I
Okay,
guess
so
I'll
Mr.
take the question again.
No, I'm fine. I'm speaking. So I'm saying that
Can you
Mr.
hear me? Can you
Nuhu
still hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Nuhu brought his team
Okay. So I
to
was
support
asking
him
how,
through
in terms of the
uh,
networking opportunity that you had at the SEDAT HR conference, how do you think that connecting with other HR professionals and business leaders at the conference influence your perspective on collaboration for sustainable growth?
before
I'm
I
sure
get
you
to
had the
that.
opportunity to network with other professionals at the
Yes,
conference.
yes, yes. So there was something I wanted to point out before we come to networking. Um, on the background of what Ibrahim mentioned earlier, Mr. Nuhu came with a team from his company, and there was one recruit who was new. Ibrahim, I don't know if you remember.
Hello, Mr.
And then
Ali.
he gave him the opportunity to share with us the business goals
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
objectives
One,
and blah,
I think
blah,
one of
blah.
the experts, right? Yeah,
Hey,
one of the
yes,
experts.
one of the experts, and he
Uh,
said it
he
so
was just two
easily.
weeks into the business. Yeah,
Just
just
2
2 weeks into the
weeks.
business.
Just 2 weeks. And
Yeah,
he could share the business goals, he could share their strategy, he
yeah.
could share what the business was up to. And it was so admirable. This was an expatriate coming from a French speaking country, just 2 weeks in the business. And I saw the pride he and the confidence he even used in sharing that with us. Such a person, I'm not sure you are going to have so much struggles with him trying to get him to do the right thing to help business growth. So it says clearly how when we are able to make our people understand the business goals and strategies, it gets more easier for us to pull them along. And about the engagements, Mr. Nuhu again shared with us how one of his staff has started a school, and they were doing well, moving from 20 to 40 to 300 to 600 students, and how the employee shared that he picked principles from the workplace to apply on his side business, which was a school. And I was so impressed. We find ourselves in environments where your employer gets annoyed, or they are not happy when they realize that you are doing something else on the side. So it was so impressive for me. So I think as HRs, we should also encourage our workforce, whatever they are passionate at doing, as long as it doesn't affect our work, it doesn't affect the business, we should allow them to do what they are passionate about. Even that energy from the achievements will be translated onto the job, and we will see how they grow. The networking was fantastic for me. For me, it was one of the reasons why I showed up at the conference. It was an opportunity for me to meet with fellow HR practitioners, some of whom have practiced over the years and are more knowledgeable than me. I could harness some knowledge from some of them who have experiences that I can tap from to make my journey a bit more easier. There is a saying that I learned quickly or earlier in my career where they said, your network is your net worth. The kind of people you have in your circle shows your value. And I've grown to appreciate that saying. So network has become a very expensive currency for us to use in recent times. You realize that when you are well connected, even in Ghana, things works easily for you. Things work
Exactly.
smoothly and seamlessly for you. So
Exactly.
if you don't have the right networks, at times things get so difficult for you. You can be frustrated and you give up. But I was sharing with Senyo after the session. I had spoken with Senyo so many times, but he has not seen me before. And there are times that I spoke to him and I just go like, oh wow, it was that simple. But yet I was cracking my head all around and trying to think about what to do. That is the value of network. So for me, the few people that I met, and I was surprised when I met some colleagues who came all the way from Accra, and I understood why they were who they were, because they spend time, effort, they are so intentional about growing themselves, updating themselves in the field of HR, and they won't leave any stone unturned to go after that knowledge, no matter where it is. So for me, the new people I got to meet, I met some few people from CSIR, and they shared so much from me from the organization. I'm like, oh wow, look at what Meshach shared with the matrices. I went to speak with him, Mr. Nuhu, and even for Emilia. It was so much value for me. So since yesterday, my network has grown. It has become more richer and more valuable. At the end of the day, it will reflect in what I do, because I do not have to struggle on a lot of things. Even if I come to a standstill, I know there is a big support out there for me that I can always tap into to make work more easier for me, and to also help my organization to achieve the business goals, because at the end of the day we learn from so many sources to make ourselves better. The tree, or I can say that nyansa ni baako fo tim. So you tap into all of these knowledges and then you make your work environment better. And you can only do such things, or you can only have such great networks when you find yourself at a places like the SEDAT HR Conference, where level-headed practitioners are brought on board for us to have a fellowship with. Thank you.
I think you are mute.
Okay, so you can hear me now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we can hear
Thank you,
you.
Madam Marisha, for that. You know, if you want your network to grow as Madam Laurentia, make sure that you don't miss the next edition of the SEDAT HR conference. All right, so we are far behind time. We are wrapping up now. I'd want to hear from both of you that one mindset that you believe that every HR professional should adopt to make a true strategic partner in business success. That one mindset. Can I still be?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. So I was asking that you share with us that one mindset that you believe that every HR professional should adopt to make an HR a true strategic partner in business success.
Okay.
Okay.
And okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
Ibrahim, you
Go
can
ahead.
go. You can go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay. So
no,
so
this time
for
I want you to
me,
speak first.
sure. For me, when all was said and done at that conference, I just said to myself, whether I like it or not, the world is evolving, and so is HR. We are in a dispensation where there is continuous process of change and development, moving from one state to another, and it's becoming more complex by the state. That is why the concept of VUCA is something that you can't ignore. It is so critical, and I was happy when more light was thrown in there. The world is now volatile, so uncertain, it becomes so complex and agile. So as HR, we can't always keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. We just have to accept that technology has come to stay. HR has come to stay, and we need to grow and develop ourselves in that field to make our work better, to bring value to the table. Either than that, we will always be thrown under the table. But I think we are even heading to a point where you will not just be exempted from the higher table, you would also be kicked out too, because nobody wants to keep you, just be paying you at the end of the month, and then you are still drawing files from here and there. You are still packing your office is so filled with papers and files and so much that we can't even draw any trends or any conclusions from to help in our decision making. So let's accept it. Whether we like technology or not, we should be open-minded. I was happy when I met Emmanuel, what's his name?
What you
There's
mean?
this guy, what you mean? And he was sharing a lot with me when we went on break. I'm like, oh wow. And it was so fantastic. And through that conversation, he shared some few stats with me on WhatsApp. Of course, we will exchange numbers. When you come to SEDAT conference, you meet these people, they will share
Right.
their numbers with you, and you pick it up from them. Would you believe that the CSR team that I met, can you imagine, they did a small WhatsApp group where we shared what we learned during the conference. Some people didn't
Amazing.
understand some of the slides, and we had to put it there for all of us to tap again from there. And it's only at SEDAT that you get to meet all of these people, all of these knowledgeable people to share things with. So please, this is where we are. We need to be as agile as we can. We need to be quick and move faster. We need to pick up things quickly. You'll be surprised that a lot of the things we learned just Thursday, by the next 2 3 months, you can't even apply them again because they are long gone. They are long.
Right.
So imagine you were not even at the conference. Then you are like years back. There's a lot you have to do to catch up. So please, let's expose ourselves to these conferences, these meetings where level-headed practitioners show up, and then we can influence our own lives with decisions that will transform our careers. So for me now, I'm so open-minded, whether AI, whether technology, whatever it is. And for me again, there is no way I will speak when I realize that whatever I'm saying, it won't bring any value or it won't bring any returns to my business. I'll
Exactly.
always I'll always make business cases that nobody dare to bring me down at that meeting room. And that is the value as an HR I want to bring to myself. And I'm sure we can all learn from it. And then moving forward, we make these decisions. We come to a conclusion where, you know what, we are no more in those days again. We are modern HRs. The world is fast moving, and we will move along it and even get ahead of it. Senyo was telling us that businesses are no more employing people who will just come and solve today's problem, but they are looking for people beyond today's problem. They can look into the future and help us solve tomorrow's problem. Those are the people
Right.
we are looking at, and I picked a lot from that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Miss Ali, would you want to any last word?
Yes, Larisha, you have said it all. So, like you said, let us all abreast ourselves with modern trend, upskill ourselves because everything, the world is evolving. It's even moving faster, like more than the light. So let us try to learn. When the conference, we went around, inviting people to attend the conference, and people, I think, though some of them they wanted to come, but I think they were too busy to. So I don't know. But if they had come just a day, they would have benefited more than because, like one of them even said, sometimes HR will be running her taskota through the organization. They are always there sitting on they don't want to move anywhere, always like busy. Oh, it doesn't help. So let us go out as an HR, try to learn from others, like the opportunity we have during the SEDAT HR conference. SEDAT is, I know, since I've joined them for 2 years now, it's a reputable. I've seen that. Me, I like social media, everything internet, I love it. So after the conference, there are a lot of things that are going on. Sometime on Sundays, I do join. At least I'm trying to learn. So let us all try to learn. keep up with the modern trend, and at least when we learn, it is going to help us a lot. And we are not going to be left behind. So if only we want to be HR practitioner like others are, like our resource persons. And then this is also an inspiration to people who are not also HR, who also want to become HR in future. They should make good use of some of these learning platforms, LinkedIn and others. Attend
Yeah.
conferences if you want to further your education. Sometimes, in the media, social media, people talk about HR staffs, and sometimes I just go in there to read some of them. I think it's helped me a lot. So,
Yeah.
HR, don't let us keep sitting. We should be on our feet, try to learn wherever opportunities come. Try to make use of that,
Yeah.
because other than that, in future or in very very soon, people are going to outsmart us, and then we are nowhere to be found. So that is my advice for everybody, HR practitioner and those who want to practice HR. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much. So glad to have both of you here with us today, sharing your insights and reflections from the conference. Thank you, Dasana Salim Mumbai, for joining us today from Dasana from Tamale.
Yeah, that's Sana
Thank
from Tamale.
you, Tamale. Thank you, Angelita. Thank you for joining us. Dasana says very lovely, right? Very lovely. Once again, this is SEDAT HR Digest brought to you by SEDAT Consult Limited. We are live every Sunday at 4 p.m. We have various discussions, very insightful discussions that are relevant to our age, our world, our organizations, our fields. So join us every Sunday and you would appreciate the conversation that we have. So once again, Standard Consult, your trusted HR partner. We offer services as training and development, recruitment and talent acquisition, compensation and payroll outsourcing, service and staff outsourcing. We also have a leadership academy that you can sign up your kids and they'll be taking various courses that are not carried out on our usual classrooms. And we also carry out event management. So reach out to us and we will provide tailored solutions to you. All right. Thank you once again for joining us today. Once again I want to appreciate my guests who joined us from the just ended conference, participants from the just ended conference, Madam Laurentia and Mr. Adi. Thank you so much. And we look forward to having more conversations and getting to see the impact that you're having in your organization as a result of you attending the SEDAT HR conference. Right. So this is the end of today's session.
Thank you for having us. Thank you to the SEDAT team for the wonderful work they put out there. HRs, let's come out and always be part of these conferences. And for some of us, we find ourselves in companies or organizations that can support and sponsor such events. So it's just saying that, okay, if you find yourself in that position, share with your business, bring your people along to come and learn. And I'm sure the value will be a big one. Since organizations are looking for ROIs, I'm sure when you bring them to these conferences, they will see it clearly, the impact on the work that is being delivered at their various organizations. So I'm urging all of us to come on board and support such conferences. Thank you.